Okay, guys, so we're going to do a quick review of circles. So when we're talking about circles, there's two different things that we look at. So one thing that we look at is the outside or edge of a circle. And that goes around the outside. And so if I start drawing it, it looks like a big C because it is circumference. Okay, so circumference, and you can be writing these notes on the back of your circles assignment for today. So circumference is the outside of the circle. Some other words that can be used to describe circumference is sometimes it can be the edge of a circle or a table. It can be a rotation or a revolution, or it can be the outside. Okay, so these are other words that tell you that it's the circumference. Okay, so inside a circle, so all this space inside this circle, all that in there is area. Okay, so area is the space inside, or it can be known as like within the circle, or if we are covering the circle, or it can also be square units. So area's square units. Okay, so it's important that we know the difference between circumference and area, because that will help us determine what formulas we're going to be needing to use. Okay, so there's two other things that are really important on a circle. And so one of those things is if I were to take this circle and cut it in half, that is my diameter. So the diameter goes all the way across the circle. All right, and it's a longer word. And then we have from the center of the circle to the edge is called the radius, right? And so one radius plus another radius equals your diameter, okay? So radius is a shorter word. There's one radius, there's another. Two of them make up my diameter, okay? So my diameter is going to be equal to 2 times my radius. Or my radius is equal to my diameter divided by 2, or half my diameter, right? Okay, so based on all that information, based on knowing if I'm looking for circumference or area, or if I have diameter or radius, I am going to use my formula chart. Okay, so first of all, if I'm looking for circumference, which is the edge or rotation, the outside of a circle, I'm going to be using one of these two formulas, okay? And I choose which formula I'm going to use based on the information I was given. So if I'm given the radius, I'm going to use this formula here, which is 2 pi r, because the r stands for radius. I'm going to use this. And I also know that 2 times the radius gets me the diameter. So ultimately, it's the same process, but if I'm given the diameter, I'm going to use this formula here for circumference. Now, if I'm given the area, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to use A equals pi r squared. So it's a whole different formula, whole different situation, but no matter what, if I'm finding the area of a circle, I have to have the radius. So let's go back over here. Okay, so if I'm finding the circumference, again, so circumference, I'm either going to use pi times my diameter, or I'm going to use 2 pi times my radius, okay? And then for area, so area is equal to pi and then r squared. And just a reminder that r squared means r times r. It's not r times 2. So if my radius is 6, then r squared is 6 times 6, or 36. Okay? So let's come down here. I'm going to show you 2 examples and then let you get started on your work. Okay, so what if I have a problem and it says that my diameter is 8 inches? Okay? So first of all, I know that's cutting my circle in half. So that's my diameter is equal to 8. All right. So if it says, what is, let's see, okay, what is the circumference? So the circumference, given the diameter, so I'm going to use C equals pi d. So I'm simply going to take my 3.14. I'm going to plug in my 8 for my diameter, and I will multiply. 4 times 8 is 32, 8, 9, 10, 11, 3 times 8, 24, plus 1 is 25.12. That's inches around the outside, right? So then, if it says that I need to find the area, I use my area formula. So A equals pi r squared. So pi is 3.14, and it says that down here on my formula chart. So pi right here, 3.14. It'll tell us if we have to use 22/7 times r squared. So r squared. Well, my radius, they didn't give it to me, but I know that my radius goes from the center to the edge of the circle, right? So my radius is half my diameter. So if my diameter is 8, then my radius is going to be 4, right? So now I'm going to plug that in. So 3.14 times 4 squared. All right, again, we just talked about 3.14, and that 4 squared is 4 times 4. Okay, oops. 4 times 4 is 16. So now all I have to do is 3.14 times 16. So 4 times 6 is 24, 6, 7, 8, 3 times 6 is 18. Put a 0, 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 3 is 3. Add them up. 4, 8 plus 4 is 12, 8, 9, 10. 3, 4, 5. 2 numbers to the right, 2 numbers to the right. So it's going to be 50.24. And that's going to be inches squared because it's area. Okay, so your first assignment today is going to be to do the circumference and area of circles practice on your own. You should be able to complete that before you leave today. If you get that finished before the end of class, then you're going to go and work on the back of your probability practice from yesterday, which looks like this. We did the front page together. For the most part, you should have finished the bottom here. And then you should be moving on to work on the back, okay? So those of you who need a little extra help, if you would like, you can pause this and do your circles, and then you can come back to this video for a little extra help on probability. Okay, so for probability, one of the ones we didn't do very often in class was this probability of landing on a number less than 7. So rolling a number cube. So always when I roll a number cube, I'm listing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, a number cube, a standard number cube has the numbers 1 through 6. So rolling a number less than 7. Well, 1 is less than 7, 2 is, 3 is, 4 is, 5 is, 6 is. Okay, so it doesn't matter that there's not a 7 on my number cube. So the probability of a number less than 7 Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I circled out of 6 total outcomes. So 6 over 6 is 1. Okay, so the probability of it not landing on 6, or the complement, would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the complement is none of those. So none of those would be 0 over 6, or just 0. Okay. Another one that I think students kind of struggled with was this one here, probability of selecting a club. So if you look at a deck of cards, there's 4 different suits. So there's spades, clubs, diamonds, and hearts. All right, so if there's 4 different suits, we're looking for a club. So the probability of a club is one of the suits out of 4 possible suits. Okay, so that would be the same as saying, okay, in a whole deck of cards, so a whole deck of cards is 52, and 13 of those are clubs. So 13 divided by 13 is 1, 52 divided by 13 is 4. So the same steps. Okay, so let's look at some of these probability situations here. Let's look here at number 1. Okay, number 1 says you roll 1 die, so that's a number cube. So anytime they start with that, I'm just going to go ahead and list out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is the probability that 2 will not appear on the die? So we don't want it to be 2. So the probability of not 2. So which ones are not 2? Well, 1 isn't 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options out of 6 possible outcomes. Okay, so listing these is really going to help make you successful. Remember, with probability, on the top is basically the number of occurrences of what we're looking for. Okay, and on the bottom is the total number of possible outcomes. Okay, what if I go down to number 5? So number 5 says that Janet ordered a pizza with 8 slices. 2 of them have jalapenos, and the rest are pepperoni. Okay, and there's a total of 8 slices. So what is the probability that she'll choose one with jalapenos? Okay, so I'm going to list them out. So I have a jalapeno and a jalapeno, so that's 2 of them. And the rest are pepperoni. So pepperoni, and I need a total of 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I want the probability of a jalapeno. So there's 2 jalapenos out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out of 8, okay? So 2 out of every 8 slices would be jalapeno. And then with probability, you always have to put it in simplest form, okay? So 2 and 8 are both even. So that means they're both divisible by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So that's going to be my probability of choosing one piece to slice with jalapeno. All right, so go ahead and finish the rest of the back of the probability problems and make sure you turn in all of your work from today. And if you do finish that, there's another extra practice that you can use for extra credit. So I hope you worked hard today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye, guys.